So good morning, everyone. As David said, my name is Nicole Sino. I'm part of the Juvenile Defender Clinic here at Suffolk, where I represent juveniles in their juvenile delinquency matters. Now, prior to joining the clinic, I had never stepped foot in a juvenile courtroom before. I had worked at the Massachusetts Public Defender's Office the summer before in the adult court system, but little did I know how different the two court systems actually were. So here I am, the first day of the clinic, sitting in Boston Juvenile Court, and I hear court personnel, including ADAs, judges, probation, defense counsels, all discussing sending kids to these programs called Bridging the Gap, DTaP, more than words. My fellow clinic members and I discovered that the court uses these programs to postpone arraigning the kids, and upon successful completion of such programs, the charges don't go on their permanent records, which has great impacts on their futures, such as when they're applying to jobs in colleges, and the nature of the juvenile court is rehabilitative, and that's exactly what these programs do. So then I began thinking, how is the court notified of these programs? How many are out there? How do attorneys and social workers figure out the best type of program for each kid? So a few weeks go by, then all of a sudden I had a client who was in need of job training services, and he needed to complete the program in order to get his case dismissed. And I thought, where do I even begin to look for one of these programs? I spoke with my colleagues who had had similar issues. I spoke with my supervisor, who was a former youth advocacy division attorney. I started Googling job training services in Boston. And I found, that there's no comprehensive list of juvenile resources out there. And so then came the idea for my LIT project. I was going to create a website application that contained a comprehensive list of these services that was easy to use on a phone, tablet, or computer, and it was going to have 3 separate filters. The first by location, because I wanted to make sure that these programs were accessible to kids based on where they lived. The second is by age, because some of them do have age restrictions, and then also third by service type, because I wanted to make sure that they were getting the service that they needed. And also it was going to be a free adaptable tool that anybody could utilize. So then came the fun part. I actually now had to create this website application. And so the first semester I spent gathering a list of resources. I met with 2 youth advocacy division social workers who gave me a ton of resources. I spoke with my colleagues, my supervisor. I listened in court to hear all the different programs that people were sending their clients to. And so then I conducted my own research based on the names and found where these programs are located, how to apply, all the contact information, the details of each program, and I put it all into an Airtable, as you can see here. And thanks to the Roxbury YAD office, they actually showed me this Airtable document, so they were a big part in this. And so an Airtable, as you can see, it's like a spreadsheet, but it's online and free for everyone to use and look at. And it's really easy to filter through, categorize, delete, edit, and so this is where I put all of the data. And currently there are 63 programs on this Airtable. So then came the really fun part, the coding. So I had no computer science background. I had never coded before a day in my life. And so I began really slow, and thank you to David for being super patient with me and helping me every step of the way. And so I started really slow. I made many iterations of the wireframe. So basically I made the app look and act the way I wanted it to without having any data in it yet. So that's the code. And so then I took the data from the Airtable and put it directly into the wireframe. And as you can see, this is what it looks like now. And so I had to go back and make sure everything was still very user-friendly, so this took a lot of time and effort, but I think it was worth it. And what I think is the coolest part about this is that whenever you edit the Airtable, it automatically updates on the app. So you don't have to go back into the hard code or do any reconfiguring whatsoever. And another cool thing, it was made with all free tools. So this app is really useful for attorneys, social workers, juveniles, the parents, and you can actually go right on the website right there and check it out. It's fully live, ready to use. And so an example of how useful this tool could be is attorneys could be in a courtroom, have a client who wants to get into one of these programs. Once they filter through and find the program that they like, they can click on the actual program, and then a details page will pop up, and you can see the description, the qualifications, and also the contact information. So then the attorney can be in court either emailing them, seeing if there's availability, or taking a call outside and calling them. So that's what it looks like. So for the future of this project, the clinic is hoping to expand to all of Massachusetts. Currently, the programs are only based in and around Boston because that's where most of my clients lived. But over the next couple weeks, I'll be spending time making a how-to. So if you have a need for an app like this, you can actually just take what I did, so I did all the hard work for you, and insert your own data from an Airtable and put it into the hard code itself. So yeah, that's my presentation, and I'll be at the poster presentation afterwards.